I saw an interview with Will Smith a little while ago, and he said, greatness is simple. Here's what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it.
Yes.
When you talk about desire, you talk about hunger, you talk about determination.
Are you willing to lose it all to gain it all?
You're just willing to just go out there and make it happen.
I believe that since greatness is possible, then being excellent is not enough.
Right.
That anybody through observation and practice can perform at the level of excellence. But when you see a Larry Bird who formerly played for the Boston Celtics, you don't say, boy, when the Bird played, he was an excellent player. We're talking about greatness here.
Right.
You see a Wayne Gretzky. And I believe that when you're pursuing your greatness, you don't know what the limits are. So you act like you don't have any, that you become intelligently ignorant. According to the laws of aerodynamics, as we know, a bumblebee isn't supposed to fly because his body is too large to be held up by the little puny wings. But the bumblebee doesn't know it. And what you will find in multi-level marketing, that you'll see people take quantum leaps in terms of their influence and their income. Why? Because being in a community of achievers, you discover some powers and abilities you have that you don't even realize. That L.C. Robinson was right, that things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that happen that really count are the things that happen in you. And part of being around other achievement-driven people, they'll push you to levels that you could never go by yourself. And that's why it's so very important that we do something that Jim Rohn said, and that is look at your relationships. You're building an organization. You want to develop greatness. The only way you can develop your greatness is you've got to be in a relationship with people that will push you, that will stretch you, that hold you to a higher standard, that will hold you accountable. And you have to look at your relationship, and Jim said, ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me?
Right.
Am I growing mentally and emotionally and spiritually? Is it challenging me? Am I honoring my word as myself? Is this making me begin to look at myself and reflect on myself and raise the bar on myself? Einstein said that thinking that has brought me this far has created some problems this thinking can't solve. And part of developing your greatness is being around people who, as you run, you can run faster with 100 who want to go than with one around your neck. But they will challenge you to step it up to another level.
Right. Well, as we're running out of time, but we could talk all day,
yes,
and we could tell some stories, and we could
yes,
do some stuff, but that'll be for another time. But first of all, I'm going to put a link so people can find a way to contact you, find out about your products, your services, your coaching that you do on how to tell stories. So everybody, I encourage you to connect, and this will be seen by over 100,000 people all over the world. People are really hungry.
Right? Part of what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to train 1,000 voices of hope. We've produced a generation of problem staters. I wanted to produce 1,000 voices of hope. How people live their lives, as I said, is a result of the story they believe about themselves. Whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. And I think that politicians and many of our leaders have become so cynical and divisive in their languaging style, and only pointing out what's wrong as opposed to looking at what's right about ourselves, about our communities, our country, and our youth, and begin to focus on the positive things and the possibilities and how we can transform the future and talk about solutions. Because if you're not a part of the solution, you're part of the problem. And so with these 1,000 voices of hope, my goal is to reduce the recidivism rate in our prisons, to reduce the dropout rate. I work with young people, teaching them, number one, how to develop their minds, two, how to become effective communicators. You know, my son, John Leslie, my daughter, owner, they're motivational speakers. Three, how to dress like a prospect rather than a suspect. And four, the success strategies for making it in a global economy, which is multi-level marketing. And so I believe with these 1,000 voices of hope, as I teach them to become world-class communicators, they'll be able to change the planet and how people see themselves.
Well, please check that out. And I hope that the 1,000, most of them come from the Network Marketing Pro community. A lot of people, we talk about there's three things that you need to succeed in network marketing. You have to have a burning desire, you have to be willing to work, and you have to be coachable.
Yes.
And we talked about this in previous shows, and a lot of people were commenting, I just don't know how to find my burning desire. I don't know how to figure out, you know, I can't light the fire. Help me light the fire. What would you say to that?
You have to experiment until you do. I mean, some people know early on. when I think about, you look at some of the people that we recognize for their greatness today, when you look at a Michael Jordan, who realized early on that basketball was his passion. A Liberace, when he was alive, he loved to play the piano, and he was very flashy, a flamboyant kind of guy. That you have to experiment with life. Life is about experimenting. The two most important moments in our lives is the day that we're born and the day that we realize why we were born.
Yeah.
That we were chosen for something. And so you have to experiment until you find it.
And I will tell you, a lot of people get the misinterpretation that network marketing has to be their passion. Network marketing can be their passion, it's my passion, but for most people it's a tool to be able to buy the house for your mom. It's the tool to be able to contribute to the world. Or
to me, network marketing is a vehicle that allows you to develop the total you. There's no other, you cannot, when you're working on a job and you go in knowing what it is you have to do, knowing that if you are breaking your back and breaking a sweat working every day and the person next to you dragging their feet, you're still getting the same pay. The difference between that and network marketing, you have to develop your entrepreneurial skills, you have to learn to keep good records, you have to learn to manage yourself, you have to learn to manage your time, you have to learn to manage people, how to influence people, you have to learn how to plan, have an agenda for your life, because you know if you don't have an agenda for your life, you're part of somebody else's agenda. So it develops every dimension of who you are. Honest to God, Eric, had it not been for Best Line Products that I first heard Jim Rowland and under the leadership of Bill Bailey years ago during the days of Holiday Magic and Dare to Be Great with Glenn Turner, I wouldn't be who I am. All of those experiences, those conventions, those positive, motivated people, people who had dreams, man. The question was asked, when does a man or woman die? And I said, they die when their dreams die. You know, when you don't have anything to look forward to. Kenny Rogers said, having someone to love, something to do, and something to look forward to will give you a long, fulfilling life. And so it helps you to develop every dimension of yourself. And that, to me, is the passion. The passion to live full and to die empty. The passion to find out what it is you've made of. The passion to get up the next day after facing rejection day in and day out, walking in the grocery store, going in the shopping mall, talking to people in the cleaners about an opportunity, and they say, no, I'm not interested, and continue to go from rejection and no's and snickers and laughter until you find that yes, until you find that eagle. And you're going to go through a lot of pigeons before you find them. And you build your character, you build your faith. And one day you look in the mirror and there's a different man looking back at you. There's a different woman looking back at you. There's a saying that I refuse to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept citizen, humbled and dull by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the still calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done. That's what it means to be a multi-level marketer, an uncommon desire to control your destiny. I'm getting fired up. I'm getting excited. My medication ran off.
I will tell you, we're out of time, and we'll do this again, but a long time ago, you looked my son in the eye, backstage before an event, and you grabbed him by the side of his face, and you said, you know what, you've got greatness in you. And you know what, for everybody that's watching, his message that I hope you feel is that you've got greatness inside of you. You've got things, talents and skills that you haven't even reached for yet.
Yes.
You've got abilities and stories that are going to be amazing.
And can change the world.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, here from Dallas, Texas, my wish for all of you is that you decide to find your passion, that you decide to become a network marketing professional, that you develop your skills, you learn to tell stories, that you get the coaching and training and information that you need to be able to take it all the way to the top. Because you know what? You really do have greatness in you. It is a stone cold fact. You got something else to say? Say
yes, this has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy and Eric Warrior's pride and joy.
It's a fact, ladies and gentlemen, that we have a better way. Now let's go tell the world. Everybody, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.